Welcome, welcome, everybody. I'm Brooke Lloyd, if you haven't met me yet, but I'm the founder of the Legacy Collective and am so honored to get to just partner with so many incredible leaders in this team. And on Monday nights, we get together to celebrate successes and to really just talk about how to help take our businesses to the next level. So I always promise that there's going to be quality value added here. I don't just do trainings to do trainings. I do it because as we grow, I want to make sure that you feel like you have everything you need to have success. So I am so excited because a lot of this new group, I know some of you guys might know this amazing individual, but a lot of you guys might not. And Miss Kristin Minassian has been in this organization for now over a year, and one of actually the very first six-figure earner we had on this team, and she's a huge part of why we are here today, where we are as a Ruby team. She is an incredible leader. She's helped develop many other leaders underneath her. What I love most about Kristin is that she just is willing to help and train and support her team so well, but also the rest of our team. She just always wants everybody to have all the knowledge that she has. She's so incredible. And so something that she started doing over the last month to help rebuild some momentum in her team was these Builder Pro and Executive group chats. And so I wanted her to share a little bit about that and talk about how she has utilized this to create more new excitement and new momentum and to really help the newest person win. So Kristin serves on our equity council. She's a gold ambassador here at Q Sciences, although not for long. She is just right on the edge of platinum. So we're so excited about that for her. And I am thrilled that you guys all get to hear from her. You're going to be blown away. Kristin, thanks for your time tonight.
Thanks, Brooke. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you're gonna be super blown away. Gosh, that was like edification on steroids. How much should a Venmo you, right? And that like the cliche thing we always say. Well, hi guys. Brooke asked me today to do this, so I'm gonna do my best. It's been a crazy weekend with regionals and all of the things, but I'm really excited to share. So yes, Brooke and I have been running together for a year and a half. It's been crazy. It's been an amazing ride, and it's basically learning and growing and failing and learning and growing and failing and learning and growing and failing over and over and over and over and over. So if any of you guys got to kind of see, I shared really vulnerable stuff about how my business has been this past year on the panel. And I just kind of shared. I came in with massive momentum. We didn't have like crazy momentum like we have now when we were like a year and a half ago. And it was crazy. I hit silver in 90 days and it was a wild ride. I was #2 recruiter for the entire company at convention and all these things. And I hit gold in May. And then I kind of like stalled out. Not on both of my legs, but I stalled out on my third leg and it kind of began to crumble. And things kind of stayed a little stagnant for about a year. And so we've been trying some new things. And I started working with Kelly Allred closely. I went to the Equity Council retreat and I was like, Kelly, I need to start like having some come to Jesus calls with you. And you're going to hear things in your business like 15 times until all of a sudden you're in a season in your business where it clicks. So just know that like you may hear this today and it may mean nothing. And you may hear this exact same thing from somebody else in like 6 months. And you're like, oh, that all makes sense now. It's all about where you are in the season of your business. So one of the things that you'll hear over and over and over is to be working with the newest people in your business. So for those of you that have been around for a while, or if you haven't, learn from my mistakes. Stop trying to revive the dead. Just stop. Like that's not where you're going to find extra volume. Your volume is going to be from the newest people that have joined in your organization. And so we looked at numbers 1 month, and of all the new starts that month, only one person hit executive in their bonus window. One. And it was my personally sponsored. I was like, oh, shoot. And so I started now tracking a lot better that. So what you track in your business is what you are going to grow. So you want to be tracking how many new starts started in the month of April and how many new starts are going to hit in the month in their bonus window. That's something you really want to begin to track with your business. because what you track grows. So I can't take all of the credit for this BPE group. Katie Trent was the one who shared this with me. She was having some of the highest success in the company with her newest starts hitting those bonuses. So I like to call it BPE because so often we can say, we have to get you executive, we have to get you executive, we have to get you executive. I think I like to start, okay, first step, builder. Like we want to go builder. Okay, next step is pro. Like if they don't hit executive, they're not going to feel like a huge failure because you're not like, wow, we have to do this. We're working through builder. Okay, we got it. We get pro, we got it. And so at the beginning of each month, I create a new chat called this one, it's April BPE thread. And what I do is you guys, for someone with a larger team, I'm going to tell you it's a lot of work to get it started, but it's worth it. You have to get reports, certain reports, blah, blah, blah. But it's not super, super difficult if you don't have a super, super large team yet. It's really easy. You're going to go to your elite and aboves, and you're going to have them help with all of this as well. So for me, I run the reports. I get all the information of new starts. I do sort it by elites and above. I get my liaison to do it. That's a whole other thing. But you want to go to your elite and above so you're not having to add every single new person and all the things. So I go to each elite and above and I tell them who their new starts are in their organization and who their sponsor was. And then I also check all auto ships. No one is allowed into the group unless they have an auto ship turned on. We have caught a lot of people this way. The sponsor doesn't get in if they don't have their auto ship on, because that's going to help that sponsor know in the sign up process the importance of saying you have to have an auto ship on. We do this group, we do these groups. So they are getting in the habit of making sure that auto ship is on. And then we go and find, I think we found 1,700 in volume that we caught this month with the new chat. So there's tons of volume on the table that you can get just to incentivize them to, we get this thread. It's really good. You get to work closely with, they edify me. I'll talk a little bit more about that. This month is the first month I've actually reached out to other leaders and some of corporate. I'm lucky I can get corporate staff, but they're incredible leaders that will pour into you guys. Like ask me and I'll do this for you guys in a heartbeat. To do a 5-minute video of them just saying like, what's your top advice to give a new ambassador? What's the most important thing you wish you would have known when you joined? And so we tell these new people, like there's an exclusive chat, top leaders are going to be giving you great information. So to qualify for it, again, like I said, you have to be elite, the new sponsor or the newest ambassador, their sponsor, but none of them get in unless the auto ship is turned on. So it's a lot of work on the front load to get the chat set up. Everyone was like, where's the chat this month? I'm like, I'm trying. It's crazy. It's a lot of work. So then once we got the chat set up, it's really fun because the hype and the excitement begins in the thread. And it's so fun to see the organic excitement that happens in these threads. Everyone's like, welcome so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. It is literally like the biggest rah-rah session ever. Now, as a leader, you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to create that. You're going to have to start that excitement because then people are going to do what you do. And so if I see like an ambassador or a new ambassador come through, I wait. But for the most part, all the sponsors, all the leaders are on it. If they get a text that so-and-so signed a customer, they get shouted out on the thread. If they get a text that so-and-so got a new ambassador, they get shouted out. If somebody hits the rank of builder, it is like the best hype thread in the world. We have it. It is awesome. Then we do trainings, and I'll go over the trainings that I do in there. But I will say we had someone hit elite last month, and we got on the celebration call. And we were like, woohoo! And she's like, dude, that BPE thread, like that was what helped so much, because they're just seeing like we're here to support you and hold your hand. Like the number one thing is, if you sign up an ambassador, it has to be your number one goal to help them hit those first few ranks. You need to know in that moment, I'm responsible for this person. It is my job to help them get these first ranks. And yes, I know it's hard and sometimes it's not going to happen. Trust me, we have lots that don't hit it. But if that's your number one focus is helping them hit those ranks in their bonus, you'll see crazy things happen. Crazy things. And Jake even says, if you can get money in their hand in those bonuses, they're more likely to stick around long-term. So Okay, so then I do trainings. Now, I'm not like super specific. I don't have a structured schedule. It is random when I go in there. Like if anyone's on my team or works with me, they know I'm like a total squirrel. Like I just kind of come in and do things. But the main topics that we go over in this thread is the first thing I do is I go in there and I talk about being the connector and being the bridge and how they only need to, I literally do this like visual now, like you are here, like here's your potential, you're this bridge right here, you're just bringing them over here. That's all you got to do. Really stress the importance of not talking and being the bridge and connecting the people, being the bridge and connecting the people. So really going over that and what that looks like. Then I go back in and I go and teach more about edification and why we do that, why we don't talk about the products, why we don't talk about the company, we just edify. That's another training. So I've done it multiple ways. Sometimes I'll do a video, 5 to 7 minutes. That's really it. I'll upload it to YouTube. I'll post it in there. I've noticed this time I did a little different. Again, this is going to take a little bit more work. I will do the video and record it. And because you can only do 2 minutes at a time, I will edit the video to be little 2-minute increments and then pop the video straight into the chat. And I'm getting more views on it that way. So however you want to, I'm just giving you how there's little technicalities that you'll have to figure out when you're doing it. So then we talk about inviting. So really that's where I do a lot of the edification too, inviting, the importance of these overview calls that we as a team have, how to invite to these calls. We talk about social media tips. I talk about the importance of curiosity posting. Don't go put your name out there. If you've never heard any social media trainings I've done, please take all Q Sciences stuff off your page. That's curiosity posting. I can train on that another day. Then I talk about overcoming objections because they're now getting no's. They're now getting people saying, I've done this, or I don't have the time, or I've done this before and I didn't have any luck, or, the common objections that we get. And so then I start working on, okay, first of all, guys, we've all got no's. You're probably getting a ton of no's right now. Totally normal, helping them feel better because now their ego's a little bruised because they've heard some no's, right? It doesn't feel good. Then I just talk about how to overcome those objections to the potential. So a lot of them are time, money, been there, done that, didn't have success. And that's what I just teach them how they can talk about it. I know how you feel. I felt that some way, but what I found out, and then connect. That's all they have to do. And then what I also like to do in this group is give them example voice messages. So if we have a potential call that night, and let's say it's me talking on the call, I go in there and I give an exact example of what to say and how to voice message people to invite to that specific call. So it's really nice because when people hear it, they can hear it. I'll tell them, write it down, practice it as many times as you want. And then they have the actual way to invite people to an overview call. So I feel like that's the most, that's kind of the nuts and bolts of it. Again, all I can say is the biggest thing I think that's the greatest thing about it is it's just become a fun hype group. I mean, we just have fun and we shout out people, and I mean, anything and everything is shouted out in these threads, and they're just getting connected. And at the end of the month, I shut down the thread and I let people know thread's going to be shut down. Feel free to remove yourself, or I'm going to remove you. I typically don't remove them, but most everybody just removes themselves, and then we move on and we start a new one. And so I like it that way because this is also, sponsors want to be, everybody wants to be in the group. And so you only get in the group if you've recruited a person the month prior. So it's one thread. It's only one thread. So it's a lot of work, but it's fun. Definitely fun. And I think it's important to go into that just a little bit more. I like it being one thread because personally, I was so caught up on that stinking leg 3 for so long that I was missing a lot of new starts in my leg 1 and leg 2 that I could have really been working closer with, or at least getting to know them better. So this is where they get access to me, in the beginning. And I have a page too, but they get access to me in that group. But I like it because I can now identify the new starts anywhere in my organization that are leaders pretty quickly in this group now. So for me, it's a good sorting tool to find who's working, who needs to be like plugged in better and things like that. Sorry, I'm reading. No, if like it's only for, so like right now, it's only for people that joined in March and all new starts in the month of April. It has to be in the bonus window. Any other questions?
I was asking you, so I think you kind of answered this, but it's the whole team, not just one leg.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yours obviously would look completely different, but I like it. It's really helped me plug into the people that are really stepping up as leaders. Helps me find them.
So that was going to be another question I asked. So we talk a lot about 2 feet in a boat, which if you guys haven't heard us talk about this, that means someone that is coachable. They do what they say they're going to do. So their action matches their words. And they are not move past discouragement. So they're not still stuck in shipping issues or I'm getting no's or whatever. So does that come into play at all? Like when you're
I'm glad that you asked that. So I actually have a thing that I say in the beginning. I do a video and I introduce, and in there I say we have 2 rules. Your auto ship has to be turned on and no negativity is allowed in this group. If I do see negativity, I will be reaching out to you guys. I will make sure that we get it deleted and we're not making this a negative group. You asked something else, Brooke, but now I forgot already. Surprise, surprise.
I was asking, like, do you take into account, because I know you said elite ambassadors can be in there, like people that are 2 feet in the boat versus people who are not, like, is that part of your qualification at all, or can anybody be in there if
it's an elite ambassador?
Yeah.
Okay. No, it has to be someone who's maintained in the last 60 days as elite. Sorry, I forgot to put that part. I can do, it wouldn't really work that way because it's busy and we shout outs and things like that. Someone was wanting to follow it, but let me think about how I could do that. It would be really hard to do all of you guys in the chat or all the things.
I would just take a little screen video of it, just like to show kind of what's going on. But yeah. I mean, I think if you want to try it with your team, I would try it with your organization, with your new starts. I have seen Kristin Wyatt does a version of this as well, and she does I think they do like they start out the month with like a Zoom, and those people get invited to that, and then they have a couple of trainings throughout the month, and then they have like a chat or something. But it's all you have to re-qualify for it every single month to be a part of it. So another thing that I think can be really great for this, you guys, is as we're looking at weekly pay, I think really thinking about how we could actually be adding, new people that are joining and working to get to executive every single week. I think we can be looking at qualifying. There's people, I've watched Kristin Wyatt do it, and she'll have, people working really hard to qualify for executive, but they have to qualify by like the 15th or the, I don't know, whatever date it is, to get into this new training every single month. So, really you start over the month, right? And then if you, let's say, ended at executive last month, then having to requalify by that first week is obviously new blood or pushing auto ships up or whatever that looks like. So I think there's really good ways to take this, and we need to start thinking like, how am I going to utilize and capitalize on this weekly pay to get people moving faster earlier in the month? They're getting their auto ships moved up, all of those kinds of things. I can tell right away. I look at my legs and see where we are right now compared to where we end at the end of the month, and know whether or not auto ships are where they should be, like as far as being at the beginning of the month. And you have to understand, if they're not the first day of the month or the 1st to the 5th, that Friday, they're not going to qualify to get a paycheck the following Friday. So I think this is going to be a great way to really rebuild that. So Kristin, will you talk about some of the results you've seen in your numbers?
Yeah. Hold on. There's a couple questions I want to answer. There's a few people asking since they join in this. Now, Brooke and I's teams are different. So I do also, these are reminding me of things I needed to say. Like I had a little giveaway that I did. So this is just specifically for my team. Like I did a giveaway. And so if you weren't added into it, you're part of a different team. But yes, we've absolutely started having more people hitting the Builder Pro Executive than we've had probably in a year. I mean, it wasn't something I was tracking so heavily. So I actually don't know my numbers from last month, but I know that we were like at like 3% we're hitting executive. And I think we're now at like 40%. So, I mean, it's growing, which is a really big deal as well. So
You've
sorry.
seen a huge jump in your volume and momentum in the leg where you're building too, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yes, finally. And we're having fun. And what I love is in my leg 3, this is really all they know now. This is what we do. So they're plugging their newest ambassadors in there, and we're shouting out people, and it's just really fun to just see all this little momentum, and they're plugging in all their new ambassadors. So yes, it's created a new wave of momentum after a long time. So at least in this leg, not on my legs. Sorry, these questions
He's asking about, can you give your quick invite to us? What, I don't know what they're referring to.
Invite to like, well, I do two. There's 2 ways that we invite. We either invite to a call and to the overview. It's the same as Brooke. Brooke and I are like the same human when we invite. We're the same. It's essentially of hold on, I had my thing in front of me. It's basically like, hey, like this is gonna sound kind of weird, but this is about business. What are you doing tonight at 8:00? And they're like, I'm blah, 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 blah. Okay, so listen, I've aligned myself with a hemp and health company, but what I'm so excited about is I'm working with a mentor who is, so one of the things I like to do also is say, I thought about you because, compliment them, and then say, I've aligned myself with a mentor who is, then edify that particular person. I would love to introduce you to her and get her on, or get you on this call. That's it. It's the same thing as Brooke. We are the same.
Yeah, I saw some messages today that were, we were kind of talking about why this person was having getting kind of not really seeing that people get on calls, or not seeing people from the call close. And so I said, well, send me some screenshots. And it was like pages and pages and pages of information. And that's a very quick thing that I can tell. What happens is when you try to give all the information, they don't get to see the system at work. They're not getting to see someone else doing something new that's having success and all those kinds of things. And so when you get them on a call like tonight, they got to see a very nervous Katie, right? Who's already having success. She's trying to deal with babies and all the things, but she's winning in this business. And guess what? All she had to do was say a couple of things. And then all of a sudden she has somebody that scoops her up and helps her. And then, we've got Kylie who just got started, and she's talking about how she's already been into an event and she's met the CEO, and right. So they're getting to see all of that instead of just you saying, here, let me dump all of this information about how probiotics work in your lap. So I think that makes such a huge difference. Anybody have any other questions before we wrap up tonight? Yeah, I think the 1500 Club is under Katie Williams and Casey. I know Casey and Mandy are doing that for sure. And just remember, anybody can start this stuff. That's why we're doing this. You don't need a leader to do this for you. You do this with your group. So if you are brand new, I know there were a couple of people saying they're brand new, go to your closest upline or your closest bronze ambassador or silver ambassador, or reach out to me. We'll figure out where you are and who we can plug you in with, and we'll get something like this started for you. For sure.
And Megan, just so you know, it's like an average of 2 to 3 trainings a week. And then maybe like a fun little challenge for them to do, like if you invite 10 people and share a screenshot of the 10 people that you sent a voice message to, plug it in here, and I'm going to do a drawing for something. So just those things. But this month's a little different. Like I said, I'm doing little trainings, but then I'm having other leaders do little 5
You're
minutes.
lifting up other leaders in there. That's great. I was wondering about that. Like, do you have other people?
Well, actually, I don't. And that's one of the things we kind of want to feel out and whatnot. It's really just me that's in there right now doing a lot of it, which may shift. It may be raising up other leaders to do the things. We're still kind of new into this. We're only, I think, 2 or 3 months in. But this one is other leaders. I've got Kelly, Jake, and Tara doing videos in there as well.
Okay. And then do you have, what was the other thing I was going to ask you about for your presentations, do you choose like testimonials and stuff from that group? from like the people?
So we're kind of having a shift of presentations. I can talk about that on a whole other call. We're doing smaller calls. And we're simply using the leaders board and those newest people that are hitting.
Well, that's what I meant. So the people in that group that are hitting the new EP.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Oh yeah. We're trying to, that's a whole other thing, but we're trying to really do smaller, intimate calls where the goal is to identify leaders and raise them up and have them speaking. So
awesome. I love it. Yeah, I figured in that smaller group, it'd probably be easy to see like who's popping. So that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing. It was so helpful. And I hope that everybody, feels good and excited about trying some new things. You don't have to do this if it doesn't work for you, but I wanted you guys to get to hear kind of how this is working. I know we have a lot of people that are looking for ways to kind of create momentum in their team. So thank you so much for everything. And also just remember, I'm going to be she just sent me the list for who earned the highest points for our retreat from last month. So I'm going to be adding that into it. And then if you are on Brittany's team, she has her retreat points for the first week of June. And then I will be posting ours tomorrow on the top 9 slots for each leg. But please plug in, start really running with this, because that retreat's going to be incredible. So really, really excited for all this to come. Just wanted to remind you and make sure that you're tracking how many new ambassadors are you adding and customers and CV and all of those things. You get access to some incredible training, some total amazing fun, and some really great swag and gifts and stuff. So it's going to be really fun and get to go to our little mansion in the mountains. So thanks, Kristin, for all your expertise. You are incredible as usual. And thanks everybody for hopping on. Have a great night.